Hey, what's up, everybody? If you're enjoying the video, please hit that subscribe button and give a thumbs up. And don't forget to ring that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. It really helps support the channel and allows me to keep creating content for you guys.
It started like all nightmares disguised as a dream. Our wedding day. Sunlight streamed through the windows of the hall, turning the white tablecloths to liquid gold. Min, my husband, he looked at me with such tenderness in his eyes. Everyone said we were the perfect couple. Perfect smiles, perfect families, perfect future stretched out before us like a flawless silk road. I believed it. I really truly believed it. We moved into the apartment his parents helped us secure. It was small, yes, but ours. We painted the walls a soft, hopeful blue. We chose furniture together, arguing playfully about the merits of modern versus classic. Life felt like a romantic comedy, the kind where you laugh a little, cry a little, and always end up in each other's arms. Then the subtle shifts began. Like hairline cracks in porcelain, almost invisible at first. It was small things. Dinners at his parents' house becoming more frequent, almost mandatory. His mother, my husband's mother, started calling daily, sometimes twice, sometimes just to check in, but always with suggestions, opinions, directives disguised as gentle advice. I tried to be understanding. Korean families are close, I knew this. Respect for elders, filial piety, it was all ingrained. I wanted to be a good daughter-in-law. I wanted to be accepted. But then came the dinner. A simple family gathering at our apartment. My parents, his parents, us. The conversation drifted to our future plans. Children, career, the usual newlywed chatter. My mother, bless her heart, mentioned how happy she was we were close by, how she looked forward to being a grandmother. A warm, innocent comment. And then Min-jun said it. Casually, almost as an afterthought while reaching for more kimchi. Of course mom will be the first to know everything. Well, she's my mother. She's more important than your parents, Eun-ji. The air in the room seemed to thicken. My smile froze. My parents exchanged a glance. A flicker of something I couldn't quite read. Concern? Embarrassment? His parents, however, didn't react at all. His mother just nodded, a small, satisfied smile playing on her lips. His father cleared his throat, looking away. I laughed nervously. Min-jun, what are you saying? I tried to make it sound light, a joke. But my heart was already hammering against my ribs. He just shrugged, his eyes still on his plate. Just, mom is mom. You understand, right? He looked at me then, expecting agreement, a shared understanding. But I didn't understand. Not at all. That night, lying in bed next to him, the blue walls suddenly felt cold, suffocating. His words echoed in my mind. More important. What did that even mean? I tried to tell myself it was just a clumsy way of expressing his love for his mother. But a seed of ice had been planted in my heart, a chilling premonition of the storm to come. I dismissed it, told myself I was overreacting. It was just words, right? Just words. The words weren't just words. They were a blueprint. A declaration of the hierarchy that would govern our marriage. Slowly, insidiously, his mother's influence seeped into every aspect of our lives. Our apartment, once our sanctuary, became an extension of their home. She dropped by unannounced, rearranging things, offering helpful advice on everything from how I cooked kimchi jjigae to how I folded laundry. Min-jun never stopped her. He'd just smile indulgently, telling me, she's just trying to help Eun-ji. Don't be so sensitive. Sensitive. I'd whisper back, my voice trembling with frustration. Min-jun, she reorganized our entire kitchen. She told me I was using the wrong kind of soy sauce. He'd sigh, his patience wearing thin. She's just particular, like all mothers. You need to respect her. She's older, wiser. Older, wiser, more important. The unspoken words hung in the air between us, heavy and suffocating. Our finances became entangled. His parents had helped with the apartment, yes, a generous gift. But it came with strings, invisible at first, tightening slowly. They started managing our investments, offering better opportunities than what I had researched. Min-jun insisted it was for our own good, that his father was a financial expert. I felt a prickle of unease, a sense of losing control. When I questioned it, Min-jun accused me of being ungrateful, of not trusting his family. They only want what's best for us, Eun-ji. Why are you always so suspicious? Suspicious? Maybe I was. Or maybe, just maybe, my instincts were screaming at me. I started noticing things. Whispered phone calls between Min-jun and his mother, hushed conversations that stopped abruptly when I entered the room. His mother's knowing glances, her subtle digs about my family, my career, my everything. One afternoon, while helping me clean out our closet, his mother accidentally stumbled upon my old photo albums. She flipped through them, making polite noises until she landed on a picture of my parents, younger, happier, on a trip to Jeju Island. Her smile faltered. "They look very relaxed," she commented, her tone laced with something I couldn't quite place. "Perhaps too relaxed?" "What do you mean?" I asked, my voice sharp. She waved a hand dismissively. "Oh, nothing, dear. Just different from my husband and I. We always worked so hard, you see. For Min-jun. Everything we did was for him." She looked at me then, her eyes cold and assessing. "Min-jun deserves the best, Unji. He deserves to be taken care of." It wasn't a question. It was a statement. And in that moment, a chilling realization dawned on me. I wasn't just married to Min-jun. I was married to his mother. And in her eyes, I wasn't a partner. I was competition. Someone who threatened her position, her control over her precious son. I was an outsider, tolerated at best, an obstacle at worst. My voice, my opinions, my very existence were being systematically eroded, chipped away piece by piece. I felt like I was drowning, gasping for air in a sea of their expectations, their demands, their suffocating love. And Min-jun, my husband, the man who had promised to cherish and protect me, was standing on the shore watching me sink, telling me I was just being dramatic. The breaking point came on my birthday. A day that should have been filled with joy, with celebration. I had planned a small dinner with my parents, a simple gathering at a nice restaurant. I told Min-jun weeks in advance. He'd nodded, said it sounded lovely. But the morning of my birthday, his mother called. Her voice was weak, frail. "Una," she whimpered. I don't feel well. I think I need to go to the hospital." Panic flared in my chest. "What's wrong?" "Min-jun, we need to go." He was already on the phone with his mother, his voice low and concerned. He hung up, his face pale. "Mom, he's having chest pains. We need to go to her." But what about my birthday dinner? My parents are expecting us." I stammered, my voice rising in disbelief. He looked at me, his eyes hardening. "Uni, my mother is in pain. Are you really thinking about your birthday dinner right now? This is an emergency." "But couldn't your father take her? We could join them later after dinner." The words felt pathetic even as they left my mouth. He exploded. "How can you be so selfish? My mother is suffering and you're worried about dinner? This is exactly what I mean. You just don't understand. My mother, she's everything to me." And then, in the heat of the argument, fueled by years of suppressed resentment and pain, the truth spilled out. "Everything to you? What about me, Min-jun? What am I to you? Just someone to cook and clean and be a good daughter-in-law to your mother? Don't you see what's happening? She's controlling us. She's controlling you." He scoffed, his face contorted with anger. "Controlling? She's just loving. Unlike your parents, who are probably just sitting at home perfectly fine while my mother might be dying." "Dying?" I screamed, my voice cracking. "She's not dying. She's manipulating you. She always does. And you just let her. You always choose her. Always. My mom is more important than your parents. Remember saying that, Min-jun? Well, congratulations. You've made it perfectly clear." Tears streamed down my face, blurring my vision. I ran to our bedroom, yanking open the closet, grabbing my suitcase. He followed me, his voice pleading now, but it was too late. The dam had broken. Years of suppressed frustration, of silent suffering, of feeling invisible and worthless, erupted in a torrent of rage and despair. "Where are you going?" he demanded, grabbing my arm. I ripped myself free. "Away from you. Away from her. I can't do this anymore, Min-jun. I can't live like this. I'm suffocating. I'm done." As I packed, throwing clothes haphazardly into the suitcase, I found it. Tucked away in a drawer, hidden beneath a stack of his shirts. A bank statement. Not ours. His mother's. And the balance. It was astronomical. Millions of won. More money than I could have ever imagined. And then I saw the transactions. Regular, large sums of money being transferred from our joint account to her account. For investments, the description read. Investments that never materialized. Investments that were actually disappearing. The truth slammed into me with the force of a physical blow. It wasn't just about control. It was about money. They were using us. His mother, his father, Min-jun. They were all in on it. The help with the apartment, the financial advice, the constant interference. It was all a carefully orchestrated scheme. They had lured me in, charmed me, married me into their family, to bleed us dry. And Min-jun, the man I loved, the man I thought I knew, he was a willing participant in this elaborate, cruel betrayal. My heart shattered into a million pieces, each shard cutting deeper than the last. The dream was dead. Completely, irrevocably dead. And in its place stood a nightmare far more terrifying than I could have ever imagined. I left. That night I walked out of that blue-walled prison, suitcase in hand, leaving behind everything I thought was my life. I went to my parents' house. Their faces, etched with worry and confusion, broke my heart all over again. I told them everything. The control, the manipulation, the betrayal, the money. They listened, their anger growing with each word. My father, usually so calm and reserved, was furious. My mother wept, holding me tight. The next few weeks were a blur of legal consultations, documents, and tearful phone calls. My parents were my rock, my lifeline. They helped me find a lawyer, gather evidence, prepare for the inevitable confrontation. We decided to expose everything. Not just for me but to prevent them from doing this to anyone else. The divorce proceedings were messy, vicious. Min-jun and his parents fought back with everything they had. They denied everything, painted me as a greedy, unstable woman who was trying to destroy their family. They even tried to turn my parents against me, playing on their traditional values, their fear of shame and scandal. But I stood my ground. I presented the bank statements, the evidence of the financial manipulation. Slowly, painfully, the truth began to emerge. The judge saw through their lies. The divorce was granted. I won back some of the money they had stolen. It wasn't everything, but it was enough to start over. I moved into a small apartment of my own. I started rebuilding my life, piece by piece. The blue walls were gone, replaced with warm, earthy tones. I focused on my career, on my friends, on healing. For a while I felt a sense of liberation, of freedom. I had escaped. I had survived. Then one evening months later I received a package. No return address. Inside, a single photograph. It was a picture of Min-jun and his mother, taken recently. They were sitting in a beautiful garden, both smiling, relaxed, content. Min-jun had his arm around his mother, his gaze adoring. On the back of the photo, a single sentence was written in his mother's elegant script. "We always get what we want, Eunji. Always." The blood ran cold in my veins. It wasn't over. It would never be over. They were still out there somewhere waiting. And I understood then with a bone-deep certainty that for them it wasn't just about the money. It was about power, control. And the chilling realization washed over me, that even though I had escaped, they would never truly let me go. The nightmare, I realized, was not over. It had just evolved. And somewhere in the quiet darkness, I could almost hear his mother's soft, satisfied laughter. And Min-jun's voice echoing in my memory, "My mom is more important than your parents." Words that were not just words but a life sentence. My life sentence. And I knew with a terrifying certainty that in their world mothers like his always win.